Well, hi fans, welcome to another installment of Talkin' Rangers Baseball. I'm Hondo, and in the second we'll be joined by Boppy from Modesto to talk about the World Series this year between the Texas Rangers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And remember fans, we're brought to you by horseracing-selections.com and sportswagers-selections.com, where if you want to get a winning wager in, visit either one of those websites today and you'll make some big money. Boppy, welcome from Modesto.
Well, how about them Rangers, huh?
Boy, you know, we both predicted it back in April that the Rangers would win the AL West. I don't think we went so far as to pick them to go to the World Series, but you know, I'd have to go back and watch the show. But they're here, and for a franchise that went into last season with just one postseason victory, no postseason series wins, they've come quite a ways.
What a great year, and what a tribute to Ron Washington and the team, and to John Daniels and Nolan Ryan. It's an amazing victory, a team victory, and I would say the same thing for beating the Tigers. It's virtually been, except for the Tiger series, it's almost been somebody different every day, somebody different every week, and our hats off to Nelson Cruz when he starts getting comparisons to Babe Ruth on national TV.
Right. Of course, Nelson has taken it upon himself the last 2 years to become all of a sudden Mr. Postseason with his this year with his 6 postseason home runs.
I think the best is yet to come. I think that the Rangers are going to make themselves a national name in this World Series, and I think Josh Hamilton is going to become a household word.
Well, Josh is kind of playing on one leg now. He's only about 50%, so I'm not sure we're going to see the real Josh Hamilton during the World Series, but certainly 50% of Josh Hamilton is much better than 100% of a lot of ball players. I think you'll agree with that. And Boppy, the thing that strikes me curious is there were a lot of people last year who thought the Rangers were a fluke, and when they lost Cliff Lee, they thought, no way the Rangers make it back to the World Series. And, of course, they have now. And so they've kind of answered their critics.
And I think two of those answers, Matt Harrison and Derek Holland, are the keys to the postseason. If one of those pitchers comes through, one of them, they only need one, I think the Rangers will win in 5 or 6 games. But I think this is a World Series that is going to be several games like the 1960 World Series. We're going to have 10-9, 12-10, 16-14. This is going to be a great series.
Yeah, I think you have two teams that have gotten to the World Series because of their bullpens. Both bullpens have been very, very good in the postseason. But I think the hidden quality for the Rangers that the Cardinals do not have is Alexi Ogando. Ogando can come in the 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th and just totally shut you down. Now, the Cardinal bullpen's been effective, but they don't have an Alexi Ogando for the middle innings.
I'd agree with that. And I'm looking forward to a great series. But you know the wonderful thing about baseball? It's so random. No matter what any experts say, no matter what we say, the game always turns out differently. You expect a slugfest, it's a pitcher's duel. You expect a pitcher's duel, it's a slugfest. The game is so random. It is the best sport on earth, and it's for that quality that we love it.
And who's your pick for, you know, a lot of times in the World Series you get a surprise star, somebody who just, you know, comes out of nowhere and has a major impact on the series. Who's your pick this year to be that impact player that a lot of people don't really know about or aren't expecting to have a big series?
Well, I think on the Rangers side, I think the guy that's going to surprise a lot of people as to how good he really is, I think it's going to be Mike Napoli. I think for batting. I think the other thing that's going to surprise people is how good Elvis Andrus is with the glove. And with his arm, I think it's going to be Derek Holland. I think Derek Holland, who really never showed up in the league championship series, I think Derek Holland is going to have one of those once-in-a-lifetime games. I think Derek Holland is going to have one of those once-in-a-lifetime games that you can only expect from like a Johnny Padres winning the 1955 World Series. I think Derek's going to do that. Or on the Cardinal side, I really like their leadoff hitter. His name is Jay. I'm sorry, his first name escapes me.
John Jay.
I think John Jay is the guy that the Cardinals can look to that's going to be a little bit, it's going to be special for them. I don't really expect anything unusual. Albert Pujols will be great, and then it's going to come down to whether or not the Rangers will pitch around him until Matt Holliday or Lance Berkman proves that it's going to hurt.
Well, I think another thing in this series you look at is the Cardinals are very stout, of course, 3 through 6, with Pujols, Berkman, Holliday, and the way that David Freese is hitting the ball right now. But the Rangers, there's really no breather in from 1 to 8 or 1 to 9, depending on the park. There's just no breather in that lineup.
I would agree, and I think there's not much of a breather in the St. Louis lineup. So it's going to be. I would expect a couple of games to be absolute slugfests. Games that go when the Yankees and the Red Sox have no pitching on a particular day. You never know when they're going to get them out. I mean, the outs may be rarer than the runs.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of high-scoring games like you saw in the Cardinals-Brewers. I really don't. I think the Rangers pitching is going to pitch much better than the Brewers pitching was, and with the Cardinal bullpen, the one factor that I think the Cardinals are going to have problems with is Edwin Jackson and Kyle Loesch pitching against that Ranger lineup. I can't see either one of those two gentlemen pitching well in Rangers ballpark. I think some of the Ranger hitters might be salivating at the thought of Edwin Jackson.
I would too. I really think that we can expect a lot of runs, a lot of long balls, and a lot of running.
And a lot of, I think the same of what we saw the last series, a lot of going to the bullpen. I think it was game 4 in Detroit when Matt Harrison was pitching and giving up 2 runs through 5 innings. Could have gone another inning. But Walsh, knowing his bullpen is as strong as it is, didn't push it and went directly to Ogando in the 6th inning. So, I think it's just a product of the postseason. A lot of times managers will go quicker to the bullpen than they would during the regular season.
This year, I think the first game is probably more important than ever. The first game, when Chris Carpenter pitches for the Cardinals, is so important to them, more important to them than it is to the Rangers. But that is a critical game for the Cardinals, for Chris Carpenter, because, like you say, when they get to their 3rd and 4th starters, it's like kitty bar the door and make sure the married men are off the infield.
Right. So, Boppy, what are you looking at? What is your overall prediction for this World Series?
I think it's the Rangers in 7.
Okay, and why do you say that?
I think the Rangers are a little bit deeper. I think their pitching's a little bit better all around than the Cardinal pitching. Although, I mean, it's just like, it is hard to imagine Albert Pujols being kept still for a whole series. It's hard to imagine Chris Carpenter losing 2 games.
Right. I think that when you look at the Cardinal rotation, it's pretty much Carpenter, Garcia. You don't know what you're going to get from Garcia, and then we got Loesch and Jackson at the tail end of it. I'm going to go with the Rangers in 6. I think they'll split in St. Louis. I think the Rangers will take 2 out of 3 in Texas and come back and win the series in Game 6 in St. Louis.
I think that's pretty reasonable. But like I said, baseball's random. Unlike every other sport, no matter what you think you're going to see, the game is so different than what you would predict.
And I'm going to go out and make a prediction that David Murphy is going to be the MVP of the World Series.
David who?
David Murphy.
Wow. Now that's going out on a limb. You got Babe Ruth there and Nellie Cruz. You got Josh Hamilton, Mr. Natural, and then you've got guys like Albert Pujols. That is an amazing prediction.
Well, I'm thinking that Tony La Russa is going to be very careful with Nelson Cruz. He's not going to want Cruz to beat the Cardinals like he did the Tigers. And you know who's batting right after Nelson Cruz is David Murphy. And so I think Murphy's going to have a lot of big at-bats. I think he's going to deliver, and I think he's going to be your MVP.
Yeah, well, then that means that this particular series will be known as Murphy's Romance. Anyway, hey, best luck to the Go Rangers. Best wishes to you. Congratulations to the Rangers. Go team.
Great season, and we'll talk to you again soon, fans, on Talking Rangers Baseball.